Foam rolling. Have you ever really wanted a massage but didn't have the time or couldn't get booked for a while and you didn't feel like waiting that long or couldn't wait that long? Well, foam rolling could be the solution that you're looking for. So today I'm going to take a few minutes to go over some foam rolling, why to do it, and then a quick foam roll on the lower back area because a lot of us have some lower back issues, chronic or otherwise, and mobilizing those tissues down there can be really helpful in alleviating some of that back pain. So we're looking at our cheat sheet over here. We've got foam rolling with a smiley face because foam rolling makes us happy, and when to foam roll. So as we're looking at this here, we'll see that body or certain areas are feeling tighter or maybe more restricted than usual. So again, the lower back is one of those areas that tends to be a little bit more stuck, rigid, overused, and mobilizing those tissues will help with reducing that restriction, making the tissues a little bit more pliable, flexible, not as tight, okay? And then the next one that we see here is that maybe we're getting ready for a workout, or during our workouts or prior to working out, the body is not opening up or feeling maybe as flexible as we would think that it would after warming up. We're doing a nice solid warm up, dynamic movements. We're trying to get things moving around. There's just a little bit more stickiness, or it's not opening up. It's not moving the way that we feel like it should, or the way that we're used to it moving. This would be a good time to maybe hop on a foam roller for 30, 60 seconds, something like that. We don't want to spend 20 minutes on a foam roller, but if there's an area in particular that we're looking to move around or get a little bit more pliability movement at, we'll take 30 or 60 seconds to mobilize that area. The last reason, and probably the most important one, is you're bored and you want to take a break from Instagram. Maybe foam rolling would be a good choice at that moment in time. So we have basic rolling for the lower back, and this is just a progression that I use that maybe you'll find to be a little bit helpful if you have a foam roller and you don't really know what to do with it, or maybe you've done some basic foam rolling and you're kind of looking for something a little bit more. I have a little bit more for a couple ideas for what you can do there. So a regular roll. Here, we're looking at just kind of rolling up and down. And I'll show us what that is in just a minute, but it's just basic. And I'm gonna show on the lower back in particular, we're just kind of rolling up and down through the area. Again, not something that we're gonna take a ton of time doing, but maybe 30, 60 seconds until we start to feel things loosen up a little bit. It might be uncomfortable at first. It shouldn't be painful, but maybe some discomfort. And across those 30, 40, 60 seconds, that pain should dissipate. We should experience that, and that's how we know that it's working. Holding a position and breathing. So sometimes there's an area in particular that might be a little bit more tight, and the rolling itself isn't quite getting into it. So we'll actually hold on to a spot, sitting, applying our body weight or as much weight as we can to that area, and then we just take some nice deep belly breaths, and that will help with expanding and contracting and releasing things. The last thing that we see here is holding and mobilizing the hips and the legs. And that in particular for that lower back is going to be something that may very well be helpful if that's not something that you're doing now and you've done the other two. That could help with getting things a little bit more free. So I'm going to grab onto my foam roller over here, and then I'm going to bring you on down. Take a look at some foam rolling here. As I said, we're gonna go over the lower back. So I've got my foam roller here, and as I'm foam rolling the lower back, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna set up, you guessed it, right on the lower back. Now we can start by just going up and down in that lower back to mid-back region, but I might also find I've got a little bit more tightness on the right side, which indeed I do today. So you can shift your weight a little bit more over to one side so that we can get a little bit more pressure there and the foam roller can do its work. We'll want to keep things balanced, so we'll foam roll over on the other side too. Again, not taking a ton of time here, 30, 60 seconds or something like that is usually sufficient. Now, maybe you've got a little bit more tightness on the right side, and that roll, you feel a little bit of relief, but we're not quite getting what we think that we could. We might just sit on that spot that has a little bit more tension, and then I'll prop myself up, and I might even take a leg here and rest it so I can pull open that low back a little bit more, and then I can breathe here, expanding everything, and then doing my best to relax on that exhale. Take something like 4 or 5 breaths here, and hopefully with each breath as you let it go, you can feel it relaxing just a little bit more. Now, if we've done the rolling up and down, we've done that sitting on the area and breathing, and it still isn't quite moving the way that we want it to, we might then find that same spot here, okay? So I'm going to try to adjust myself. I'm getting into that spot, and now what I might try and do is move my leg around, kind of pulling away from the spot that we're sitting on. And I might try this with a straight leg, reaching out to the side, pulling my knee up to my chest, and then pushing the leg straight out, hinging, going out to the side, and then back in. Just a couple of ideas. Oh, and bonus, you get some nice ab work in there too. But that last one there, we're sitting on that spot, and then we're opening up through the extremity, mobilizing that area just a little bit more to see if we can get that spot to let go or release a little bit for us if the other two don't really do what we need it to. So we'll bring it back over to our handy dandy cheat sheet for some foam rolling. Looking at the whole thing over here, when the foam roll, the body is, or certain areas are feeling tighter or more restricted than usual. The body is not opening up or feeling as flexible as we think it should after our warm-up, because we're doing a nice dynamic warm-up, right? You're bored and you want to take a break from Instagram. The basic rolling, we have the regular roll going up and down. We're holding onto a spot and then breathing. And then lastly, if those other two aren't really doing it for us, we can hold that spot and then mobilize. And you can do this with the upper body too. If you have something in the scapula or in the shoulder or something like that, that would apply here too, where you sit on the spot and you kind of move the arm around a little bit. So there are some foam rolling ideas for you. Thanks so much for taking the time to check this out. I'll see you next time.